overall drill cuttings, as you guys know, when we are drilling a well, we have the cuttings as part of the process, and these are the most common type of samples and most easiest type of samples that we can get from the subsurface, and it is very cheaper type of sample. And drill cuttings, as you know, you can say that it is a core that has been crushed during drilling. And as you guys can see, it is very cheap, as you don't have to change the bit. आपको bit change नहीं करनी पड़ती. You don't have to apply some special techniques to recover the sample. तो normally जो drilling fluid है वही जब circulate करता है, तो वो circulate करते हुए आपको samples provide करता है. तो उन samples को हम drill cuttings कहते हैं. और drill cuttings are very important as they also provide you the first chance to see the rock. जब आप एक well drill कर रहे हैं तो different formation से जब आप गुजरते हुए जाते हैं तो जो सबसे पहले samples आपके पास आते हैं वो drill cuttings ही होती हैं. And these drill cuttings will let you know about the different layers that we are passing during drilling, as well as they will also let you know about the different formations or different units that are present during drilling. इमीडिएट इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ सेडिमेंट्री सीक्वेंस, यस. जैसे जैसे आप किसी सीक्वेंस में से गुजरते हुए जाते हैं तो वो आपको इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती जाती है कि आप कार्बोनेट रॉक से गुजर रहे हैं, सैंडस्टोन में से गुजर रहे हैं, कोल में से गुजर रहे हैं, ग्रेनाइट में से गुजर रहे हैं. तो कोई भी रॉक जो होगी वो आपको उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन देगा. क्वांटिटी, बहुत स्मॉल क्वांटिटी आपको चाहिए होती है कटिंग्स के लिए, और एक स्मॉल सैंपल जो है उसको भी आप एनालाइज कर सकते हैं और उसको आप अंडरस्टैंड करने की कोशिश कर सकते हैं. इसके अलावा आप उसके थिन सेक्शन बना सकते हैं. इसके अलावा आप उसके अंदर से कुछ फ्रैगमेंट्स जो हैं उनको सेपरेट कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि वो जॉइंट नहीं होता, एक सैंपल नहीं होता, उसमें से आप पिक कर सकते हैं, पिक एंड ड्रॉप कर सकते हैं. कुछ जो यूज़फुल मिनरल्स हैं उनको आप निकाल सकते हैं. अगर आप लाइमस्टोन को स्टडी करना चाहते हैं तो आप लाइमस्टोन निकाल सकते हैं. अभी शॉर्टली हम देखते हैं एक फोटोग्राफ जिसमें आपको वैरायटी ऑफ डिफरेंट ड्रिल कटिंग्स जो हैं वो आप देखेंगे. ओके. तो इसके अलावा जाहिर है आप डेफिनेट कंपोजिशन तो नहीं बता सकते, जैसे आप ड्रिल कोर के अंदर या कोर्स के अंदर बता सकते हैं कि ये लाइमस्टोन है. तो आपको एक एवरेज कंपोजिशन बतानी होती है. ओके, दिस इज कैन बी सैंडी लाइमस्टोन, दिस इज कैलकेरियस सैंडस्टोन, जहाँ पर सैंड ज़्यादा हो गई, मे बी कैलकेरियस शेल. तो हो सकता है जिसको आप कैलकेरियस शेल कह रहे हैं उसमें शेल और लाइमस्टोन का इंटरवल जो ड्रिल हुआ है अब उसके सैंपल मिक्सड हैं, जिसकी वजह से आपने उसको एवरेज रॉक नेम दे दिया. So this can also provide you information on rock composition and texture and also fossils. For field के अंदर when you are in the field, normally you have a log, we call it as mud log. So you just create it based on the and correct it based on the drill cuttings. And drill cuttings, remember when you are in the oil field, जब आपके tops आते हैं, tops means like for example your reservoir is Jorgali formation and that is situated at 4,000 meter beneath the surface. So when you are at like 3,500, then you start seeing the cuttings, and then you expect that your new top or your new reservoir is coming, and then based on your cuttings you decide, okay, because tops are very important as they will help you to understand and devise a strategy on the well side. If you miss a top, then maybe you can miss the understanding of the reservoir as well. As remember yesterday we said more like when you reach the reservoir, maybe the interval of sampling for the cuttings will increase, and as a result we will have more samples, and we use a special term called the pitch sample for those wells in which we have the reservoir hit. as well as for wildcat wells, those wells that we drill in those areas where we don't have any pre-existing wells, like the frontier areas, and in those areas we normally we have an interval of 5 meters, or maybe let us check the exact number. We discussed it yesterday. Yes, 2 meters. And for those wells in which we have the already have data, like the offset wells, we use about 5 meters of interval for the well cuttings. Okay, and then come some of the operations, and you can see here is a shale shaker. You remember when we discussed about the fluid in the drilling of the well, and the properties of the drilling fluid, and you saw we discussed about there is a place where you can have the samples coming out of the borehole, and you have water plus the samples coming in, and then you have to clean those samples, put the samples, and then you have to clean it, wash it with the water, and then you put some sieve analysis. Sieve is just like, maybe you guys have seen, आप लोगों ने sieves देखी हैं कभी? It is just like a combination of जिसको आप you call it as चांदनी कह सकते हैं आप उसको, जिसके अंदर अगर आप कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट्स पे जाएं तो वो रेत को उसके अंदर डालकर वो क्लीन कर रहे होते हैं. So it is like smaller version of that. So normally you clean the finer fragments out of it, then you do the drying, and then you put some label on it, like the well number, the depth from which it was taken, and then, for example, if there are different departments in your company and they want to study the cutting samples in future, then you do it the storage, आप storage कर देते हैं, and there is enormous amount of samples. Namely, the oil companies, they store into small bags, and sometimes these bags are made up of cloth, like normal clothes, and or jeans type of material, and sometimes they also give it to petrophysics department, the geochemistry department for detailed petrography, like those guys who want to study the sedimentology, or maybe those guys who want to study the paleo environment in terms of paleontology. So they will also take some samples out of it. Cuttings is like a very free sample and easy to give to anybody, and it is not like very costly sample like core. So companies, different departments, if they want to study the physical aspect of the uh, well, normally they go for cutting. The other benefit of cutting is that it is available for the whole well. However, core, because it is expensive, so it is just available maybe 1,000 feet of the well, that is 11,000 feet or 12,000 feet. But cuttings, remember, you can get it for the whole well. It gives you information about the whole. However, there are some drawbacks of cuttings. We will see them later in this presentation. Mud circulation system, as you guys remember, we have mud tanks, and then we have the green color, that is the clean uh, mud, and that is provided with different chemicals, and then we just put it inside the well, and then through the annulus we have the cuttings that come to the directly to the shale shaker, and from shale shaker again it passed to the descender, desilter, and then water is again passed into the mud tanks, and then mud tanks again mud pumps, and then the cycle continues. The important aspect of this figure is the place where we have the shale shaker. Shale shaker is the place where you can get the drill cuttings directly, and you can take the sample, and when you are reaching the reservoir, and when you are reaching the hydrocarbon zones, and sometimes we have the oil coating on the samples, and using a fluorescence tube you can see the coatings of oil, and then you can say that you have some showing of oil in the well. So this is just an assembly, and it represents one of the figures that we have already seen multiple times, and it shows you the process by which the drill cuttings are coming to the surface when we are pumping the drilling fluid, and this drill bit moves and cuts the rock, grinds the rock, and modifies the rock, and then the uh, cuttings are moving from the annular space to the surface, and then they are put in the shale shaker. So this is the mud circulation system, and from here, shale shaker, you can get the desired sample, and based on your interval, you can take samples from here. Normally, the guy who is called the mud logger, basically a geologist, he's the one who will be responsible for taking the sample, and every time he wants to take sample, he has to go there and physically take the sample out of the shale shaker, and then based on the calculations he can say, okay, based on, like, if our well is 10,000 feet deep, then the chances are there that this particular section is represented by this formation, because real-time data is also available at the well site, and you can actually do some calculations to understand how much lag time could have been passed from the time this drill has done to the time now we are seeing the drill cuttings, or drilled chips that we see in the shale shaker. How drill bit cuts, that is also very important, and we have as you know, we have different type of drilling bits. You can see a teeth of the drilling bit, and this teeth of the drilling bit is actually crushing the rock, and as you see, during the process of the crushing, it is actually creating micro fractures in the rock, and as the crushing progress and continuing this process, uh, this bit will cut the rock, and then there is another motion, the gouging and scraping, that is like the shearing motion that is produced by the drill bit, and as a result, we have the uh, breakage and propagation of fractures in the rock. And as you know, the bit is continuously rotating, and here you can see some examples of the drill bit, and you can see the teeth, and sometimes we have the diamond drilling bit, and sometimes we have the tungsten carbide, that is also a very hard material and tough material that we use for drilling. Cutting size will depend on the drill bit that you use. If you are using the PDC bit, and this is the photograph of the drill bit. These are different types of drill bits, or natural diamond bit, or the diamond impregnated bit. Then the sample size will be different, because different bits, drill bits, they have different type of motions. Like the PDC bit, they normally have the sharing style of cutting, and as a result of that, the cutting size will be larger. And as the natural diamond bit, the it is actually the plowing, just like you have a tractor, and then you want to put that in the rock, and as a result, the bill size, the bit size, depending on the bit size, the cutting size will be medium. And once we have the grinding is actually the powdering of the rock. You can see some powder here, and as a result of that, the size of the cutting will be smaller and fine grained. So you can actually guesstimate based on the size of the size of the teeth, and also the bit type, like what type of drill cuttings you will have. You will have coarser, medium, or finer. Okay, this is just an example to let you know that how much cuttings we can have, and how much cuttings we expect. Like if we have a hole that is 1 meter deep, and the diameter is 12.5 inch, and this is just an example, that you can have the cuttings about 200 kg. That is a normal sample. And so this shows that during the drilling, the mud stream that actually incorporates in the drill bit, and then you have the cutting coming in, and those cuttings are actually transferred to the surface. If we just consider this hole, then the amount of sample is this, and okay, and then once these cuttings reach to the surface, then any gas or any entrapped material that is inside the cuttings is actually gone, and then maybe we have some reduction of the size as compared to the normal companies. In big companies, they have huge piles of drill cuttings, and then sometimes these drill cuttings are reused in some other sciences, and sometimes the companies, they have to load trucks and trucks and trucks for these drill cuttings, because we just take the representative samples. We cannot store all the drill cuttings, because this that is enormous amount of material. And here we have some of the calculations where we have the hole size, the length of the drill, and the section volume and time to drill. And it takes like if its total is like 4,500 meters, 500 around 500 cubic meter of volume of section that has been drilled in 90 days, is about 1,200 tons of drill cuttings will be generated, and you need about 165 plus trucks to load all these drill cuttings. So you can see the enormous size of cuttings that is available at the site, and as a result of that, we have to ask some companies to help us. There is actually transportation companies that can help you to load your trucks and also to take it to the new location. What is the lag time? Lag time, as I said, is the time like once you are drilling here, how much time the cutting will take from the bottom of the well to the surface of the well. That is called the lag time, which is always required for pumping the samples from a particular depth to the surface where they become accessible. Okay, the lag time applies to all downhole information, the formation cuttings, and the fluids which they contain. So it means, like for example, the drill cuttings is coming from this place, and it reaches to you like in 3 hours, 2 hours, and then you need to understand, if you say, okay, this is limestone, it doesn't mean that the limestone layer is now drilled. Maybe the limestone layer already finished and you are drilling into a sandstone. It means the layers that you are passing through will be uh, will be going to be different, and various layers you will pass through. And remember that the time the cuttings will take from the bottom of the well to reach to the surface of the well will be great, and will be around 3 to 4 hours depending on the depth of the well, maybe 1 hour, 2 hour. So you need to understand the lag time. Here we have some example. You can see that we have layers A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and as the well, that you can see the drill string, and then this is the drill bit. It is actually drilling through these layers, and as you can see that once it drill A, so here A is already here in the shale shaker. So now the samples that are present in the shale shaker is A, but you can see the drill bit has already reached the stage G. It is an illustration to show you that we have different type of layers, and we have different type of materials that are present in these layers, and as a result, when we pass through these layers, you can see that A will be drilled first, reach the shale shaker, then comes B, then comes C, then comes D, then comes E, then comes F, then comes G. So maybe G will go until we drill another 6 or 7 layers. So lag time actually depends on the depth uh, at which you are drilling, the pump rate, the pumps that are present at the surface, drill string size, what is the size of your drill string if it is very long, and how much is the length of your drill string. Like there are more than 100 pipes attached to the drill string, that means more time will be required. Casing diameter, like how much is the bore hole diameter, the hole size. If the bore hole diameter is large, it means it will take more time to reach to the surface, because the fluid is the one that is pumping all these cuttings to the surface. Also the mud condition, if it is hot or cold, and also the type of the drilling mud, if it is water based drilling mud or if it is oil based drilling mud. And lag, however, we can use different techniques. One technique is to do the calculation, and you just calculate the drill rate and all these calculations, and based on some equations you can calculate the time. Similarly, you can also do some tracer tests. You can drop some dye in it, or maybe you drop some material inside the drilling fluid, and then you see how much time that material takes to reach to the surface, like the shale sector. And then based on that, you just try to calculate the time. However, calculations, there can be some error, because in nature the things are not that simple as we do in calculations, or maybe as we do the other. Cuttings and core, we have a drill core uh, here, and you have the drill cuttings. So the cuttings and core are nothing but the core has been crushed into the cuttings, and they actually represents the same rock type, but you need to do the some calculations, and there there is some mechanical operations are involved in transportation of the rock to the surface, and during that process there is much information that is lost. But anyways, we still have much of the rock material that is still present, and that material can be useful for us for the future, and we can store this as a backup material for our rock types, to understand the rocks as they represent one of the physical samples. So the contamination in the drill cuttings can be different minerals, and also different organic and synthetic materials, and also some metals. These can be the contaminations that we can encounter during the studying in the drill cutting. So everything that you see in the drill cutting is not actually the natural product. Sometimes we have the contaminants. Contaminants means that those minerals or those materials that are actually not the part of the rock, and actually are part of the drilling assembly, or part of the uh, drilling operations, like the drilling mud can also impart, and also some cemented additives. All these materials they can add on, and sometimes they can provide you some contaminations in the drill cuttings. Okay, well, that's all for today, and we continue tomorrow from here till the next part. If you guys have any questions related to today, you guys can ask.